The Last Guardian. Commander Sarah Chen stood at the observation deck of Earth's last underground facility, watching engineers make final adjustments to humanity's ultimate creation. The TSS Avalon's obsidian hull absorbed light in a way that seemed to bend reality itself. After 3 years of brutal occupation by the hegemony, this ship represented humanity's last hope. The hegemony had arrived without warning, their massive fleet darkening skies worldwide. Their message was simple: submit or perish. Humanity chose to fight, but their weapons proved useless against hegemony shields. Within days, major cities lay in ruins. The survivors retreated underground, working tirelessly on Project Avalon. "Commander, quantum core initialization is complete," reported Dr. Marcus Wong, lead scientist of the project. His eyes carried the weight of countless sleepless nights. "The AI matrix is stable. Nova is ready for integration." Nova was unlike any artificial intelligence ever created. Based on quantum computing principles the hegemony had never mastered, it could evolve and adapt in real time. But its true power lay in its ability to form a neural link with its human pilot. "Time to test the neural link," Sarah said, removing her jacket to reveal the neural interface ports surgically embedded in her spine. She had been chosen from thousands of candidates for her exceptional neural plasticity and combat experience. As Sarah settled into the command chair, technicians connected the interface cables. The moment Nova linked with her consciousness, she gasped. It felt like her mind had expanded to encompass the entire ship. She could feel every system, every weapon, every shield generator as if they were extensions of her own body. "Neural synchronization at 97%, Marcus announced, his voice filled with awe. "That's well above our highest projections." Their celebration was cut short by blaring alarms. "Hegemony forces detected," a technician shouted. They'd found the facility. Sarah's heart raced, but Nova's presence helped her maintain focus. "How long until they breach the outer defenses?" 20 minutes, maybe less," Marcus replied. "We need to evacuate now." "No," Sarah said, rising from the chair. "We launch now. The Avalon is ready. I can feel it." The facility erupted into organized chaos as essential personnel boarded while others evacuated through emergency tunnels. Through the neural link, Sarah could feel Nova running combat simulations, preparing for their first real battle. As the massive launch doors opened above them, Sarah addressed her small but elite crew. "The hegemony thought they could break humanity's spirit. They thought we would accept slavery. They were wrong. Today, we show them why." The Avalon rose from its underground cradle, its quantum engines humming with power that defied conventional physics. Through the neural link, Sarah felt Nova's excitement mirror her own. They weren't just pilot and AI. They were humanity's sword and shield, forged in desperation but tempered with hope. Above them, the hegemony ships filled the sky, their weapons charging. But Sarah smiled. The real battle for Earth's freedom was about to begin, and she had the distinct feeling the hegemony had no idea what they were about to face. Breaking chains. The Avalon erupted from its underground bunker like a vengeful spirit, its quantum shields absorbing the first barrage of hegemony fire without effort. Through her neural link with Nova, Sarah felt the ship's systems singing with power, eager for battle. "Multiple hegemony cruisers on attack vectors," reported Lieutenant Kira Peddle from Tactical. "They're trying to box us in." Sarah didn't need the report. Through Nova, she could sense the enemy ship's positions as clearly as if they were pieces on a chessboard. The neural link transformed complex combat calculations into pure instinct. "Show them what we can do," Sarah commanded, both verbally and through the link. The Avalon's quantum engines flared, and the ship moved in ways that should have been impossible for its size. Energy weapons from the hegemony ships carved paths through empty space as the Avalon danced between their beams. Nova's voice resonated in Sarah's mind. "Their targeting algorithms are predictable. Shall we demonstrate true adaptation?" Sarah grinned. "Let's teach them about human creativity." the Avalon's main weapon charge, a quantum lance that drew power from the very fabric of space-time. When it fired, the beam didn't just penetrate the lead hegemony cruiser shields. It phased through them as if they didn't exist, cutting the massive ship in half. The hegemony fleet's response was immediate and devastating. Hundreds of missiles launched simultaneously, while energy weapons created a web of deadly fire. But Sarah and Nova had anticipated this. The Avalon's quantum core pulsed, and suddenly the ship was generating multiple quantum echoes, perfect copies that confused enemy targeting systems. Through the neural link, Sarah coordinated their movement like a conductor leading an orchestra of destruction. Impossible. The hegemony commander's transmission crackled through the bridge. Your technology cannot match ours. We have conquered 1,000 worlds. That's your problem. Sarah transmitted back. You conquer. We create. The battle transformed into a deadly dance. With each passing minute, Nova analyzed hegemony tactics and adapted. The quantum shields learned to predict enemy fire patterns. The weapons systems discovered new ways to bypass alien defenses. But the true advantage lay in the human-AI partnership. While Nova provided tactical perfection, Sarah's human intuition led to unpredictable maneuvers that the hegemony's rigid battle computers couldn't anticipate. Evolution's edge. News of the Avalon's victories spread across the galaxy like wildfire. In just 2 months, the quantum warship had liberated 6 human colonies and destroyed over 30 hegemony vessels. But Sarah Chen knew their greatest challenges still lay ahead. They're adapting their shield frequencies, Lieutenant Paddle reported, studying the tactical display. Standard quantum lance penetration dropping to 60%. Sarah felt Nova's calculations through their neural link. The AI had grown significantly since their first battle, its quantum processors evolving new capabilities almost daily. Then we evolve again, Sarah replied, both to her crew and to Nova. The Avalon's quantum core thrummed as Nova implemented their latest innovation. Instead of trying to penetrate hegemony shields directly, they would use quantum entanglement to bypass them entirely. The next battle would test this theory. It came sooner than expected. A massive hegemony battle group emerged from hyperspace, led by their newest dreadnought. Sarah recognized the ship design. The hegemony's response to the Avalon, built specifically to counter their quantum technology. Analyzing enemy capabilities, Nova communicated through their link. Detecting multiple quantum signature dampeners. They're trying to neutralize our advantages. Sarah smiled. They still don't understand. Our advantage isn't just technology, it's imagination. Through their neural connection, Sarah and Nova conceived a battle strategy no conventional military would consider. The Avalon's quantum core began generating micro-singularities, too small to cause significant damage, but perfect for what they had planned. All hands, brace for temporal displacement, Sarah announced. The Avalon dove straight toward the hegemony fleet, seemingly on a suicide run. The enemy ships fired everything they had, their new shields glowing with confidence. At the last possible moment, the Avalon's micro-singularities detonated in sequence. Each created a tiny time dilation field, making the ship appear to be in multiple places simultaneously. But unlike their earlier quantum echoes, these temporal copies were real. The Avalon literally existed at multiple points in spacetime for a fraction of a second. The hegemony's targeting computers crashed, unable to process the paradox of a single ship attacking from 12 different vectors in the same instant. The Avalon's quantum lance fired once, but thanks to the temporal multiplication, 12 beams struck 12 targets simultaneously. When spacetime normalized, half the hegemony fleet had been reduced to drifting debris. The remaining ships began to retreat, but Sarah wasn't finished. Through Nova, she detected something interesting about the enemy dreadnought. They're quantum dampeners, she realized. They're based on stolen human research. Nova, can you access their systems? The AI was already probing the enemy ship's quantum frequencies. Through their neural link, Sarah felt Nova establishing a connection. The dreadnought's dampeners didn't just stop working. They reversed, amplifying the Avalon's quantum effects instead of neutralizing them. A gift from their own arrogance, Nova observed as the dreadnought's systems fell under their control. They tried to replicate our technology without understanding its true nature. Sarah opened a channel to the remaining hegemony ships. Your leaders told you humans were primitive, that we'd be easy to conquer. Now you know the truth. We're not just fighting for survival. We're fighting for everyone you've ever oppressed. Spread the word. Humanity isn't just resisting. We're taking back our freedom. The battle marked a turning point. The hegemony's supposed invincibility had been shattered, not just by superior technology, but by the combination of human ingenuity and artificial intelligence working in perfect harmony. As the Avalon's crew celebrated their victory, Sarah felt Nova processing the battle data, already evolving new strategies and capabilities. They'll come back with something new, Sarah mused through their link. And we'll continue to evolve, Nova replied. That's what humans do best. You never stop growing, never stop imagining new possibilities. It's why I'm honored to be part of this journey. Sarah watched the stars through the quantum-filtered view screen, knowing that somewhere out there, the hegemony was realizing that they had awakened something far more powerful than they'd expected. Humanity's unconquerable spirit. Echoes of humanity. The message arrived through encrypted quantum channels, while the Avalon was recharging its core in deep space. Sarah felt Nova's excitement through their neural link before the AI even decoded the transmission. It's from the Nexari, Nova reported. Their resistance cells have seized control of 3 orbital defense platforms. They're requesting our support before the hegemony can respond. The Nexari were one of the hegemony's oldest subject races, brilliant engineers forced to build weapons for their oppressors. Sarah had hoped they would be the first to rebel after seeing the Avalon in action. Plot a course, Sarah ordered. But first, show me what you've learned about their defense platforms. Through their neural link, Nova shared detailed schematics. The platforms were formidable, but they had been built by Nexari engineers who had secretly included vulnerabilities. With the Avalon's help, those same weaknesses could be transformed into strengths. They arrived to find a hegemony assault fleet already in position. But instead of the usual demands for surrender, the enemy commander's transmission carried a note of desperation. This is your final warning, the hegemony officer snarled. Return control of the platforms or face extinction. The humans cannot protect you from our full might. A new voice joined the channel, the leader of the Nexari resistance. We've watched humanity stand against you. We've seen what real freedom fighters can accomplish. We choose to stand with Earth. The battle that followed would be remembered across 1,000 worlds. The Avalon's quantum systems merged with Nexari technology, creating defense fields that turned the platforms into impregnable fortresses. Each attempted hegemony assault was met with counterattacks that seemed to break the laws of physics themselves. Their targeting systems are linked, Nova observed through the neural bond. The Nexari have already adapted our quantum networking protocols. Most impressive. Sarah smiled. They're natural innovators, just like us. They just needed a chance to prove it. As the hegemony fleet retreated in disarray, similar reports began flooding in from across the galaxy. The Kaldan, masters of biological engineering, had developed organisms that could eat through hegemony hull plating. The Zerain, a species of natural telepaths, were disrupting enemy command structures. Everywhere the Avalon story had spread, oppressed species were discovering their own ways to fight back. Through quantum entanglement communications, technology freely shared by the Avalon's crew, a network of resistance forces began to form. Each species brought their own unique strengths and technologies to the Alliance. The hegemony's greatest weakness was being exposed. They had created an empire of diverse, brilliant species and forced them all to conform to a single way of thinking. We're receiving dozens of new transmissions, Lieutenant Paddle reported. More systems are declaring independence every hour. The hegemony is losing control of entire sectors. But Sarah felt Nova's concern through their link. The AI had detected unusual energy signatures from the direction of hegemony space, massive power readings that suggested they were gathering for something unprecedented. They're preparing their final gambit, Sarah realized. Everything we've accomplished has pushed them to this point. They'll risk their own destruction before accepting defeat. Through their neural connection, Sarah and Nova began analyzing the data. The hegemony was constructing something massive near their home system, a weapon that could potentially destroy entire star clusters. They believe they can force submission through sheer destructive power, Nova observed. They still haven't learned. A high-stakes space battle in an asteroid field. A sleek, futuristic human warship with a white and blue glowing hull, advanced thrusters, and a cutting-edge design evades incoming red laser fire from an imposing alien battleship. The alien vessel is a dark, cube-shaped structure with an ominous red energy core, intricate glowing red lines, and a heavily armored surface. The background features asteroids floating in zero gravity, with red laser trails cutting through the darkness of space. The scene is intense, capturing the moment of pursuit and fire exchange between the two ships. Dawn of Freedom. The combined fleet of resistance forces dropped out of quantum space at the edge of the hegemony home system. Through the Avalon's advanced sensors, they got their first look at what the enemy had been building. Sarah felt Nova's calculations shift into overdrive as they analyzed the massive structure. It's a quantum singularity drive, Nova communicated through their neural link. They're attempting to create an artificial black hole that can be weaponized. The potential destructive power is beyond anything we've encountered. The hegemony's superweapon hung in space like a dark star, surrounded by their entire remaining fleet. At its core, energy readings suggested they were minutes away from activation. All Allied ships, begin transmission of tactical data, Sarah ordered. Through the quantum network they'd established, each species' unique sensors and technologies began sharing information. The Xeran telepaths provided insights into enemy command structure. Nexari engineers identified structural weaknesses. Kaldan biologists detected patterns in the energy fluctuations. The hegemony's response was immediate and devastating. Their fleet launched a barrage that would have annihilated any conventional force. But this was no conventional force. Kaldan bioships absorbed energy weapons and redirected them. Nexari platforms generated overlapping shield geometries. Xeran vessels seemed to phase in and out of reality, impossible to target. They still don't understand. Sarah transmitted to all Allied ships. Each of us alone was vulnerable. But together, we're stronger than they could ever imagine. Begin the attack pattern. The Avalon led the charge, its quantum systems now enhanced by the combined technological knowledge of a dozen species. Through their neural link, Sarah felt Nova integrating these new perspectives, creating combat solutions that would have been impossible just months ago. The hegemony fleet commander's transmission carried both rage and fear. You primitive species dare to challenge us. We uplifted you. We gave you civilization. No, Sarah responded. You gave us chains. We're giving each other wings. The battle that followed would be studied for centuries to come. The Allied fleet moved like a single organism, each species' strengths covering others' weaknesses. The Avalon's quantum lance, synchronized with Nexari power systems and guided by Xeran precognition, carved through enemy formations with surgical precision. But the hegemony's superweapon was powering up. Through their link, Sarah felt Nova's concern. Standard weapons will not penetrate its defenses in time, the AI advised. But I have an alternative solution. It will require trusting our allies completely. Sarah smiled. That's what got us here. The plan formed through their neural link and was transmitted to all Allied ships. It was audacious, combining technologies in ways their creators had never imagined. The hegemony watched in confusion as the Allied fleet began to fall back. They retreat. The enemy commander declared, activate the singularity drive. Show them the price of defiance. But retreat was not surrender. As the superweapon began to form its artificial black hole, every Allied ship activated their quantum systems simultaneously. The Avalon, enhanced by Nexera power relays, generated a massive quantum field. Kaldan bioships released engineered particles that altered local spacetime. Zerane vessels projected psychic energy that somehow made the impossible possible. The effects cascaded. Instead of creating a weapon, the hegemony's artificial black hole became a lens, focusing and redirecting the combined quantum effects of the Allied fleet. Their own superweapon became the instrument of their defeat. Impossible, the hegemony commander transmitted. This defies all known physics. That's humanity's gift to the galaxy. Sarah responded. We see the impossible as a challenge, not a limit. And now, thanks to you, we're not alone anymore. The quantum cascade reached critical mass. In a flash of light that temporarily blinded every sensor in the system, the hegemony's superweapon and central fleet ceased to exist. When the energy dissipated, only their peripheral ships remained, their crews stunned into silence. To all remaining hegemony forces, Sarah broadcast, "Your choice is simple. Surrender and join us in building something new, or retreat to your homeworld. Either way, the age of empire is over. The age of alliance has begun." The surrender was nearly unanimous. As former hegemony ships powered down their weapons, Sarah felt Nova processing the implications of what they'd achieved. It wasn't just a military victory. It was the birth of a new way of existing in the galaxy. In the months that followed, the Alliance of Free Species was formally established. The Avalon became a symbol not just of resistance, but of cooperation and innovation. Each member species contributed their unique perspectives and technologies, creating advancements that would have been impossible in isolation. Sarah Chen remained the Avalon's commander, but her role evolved. Through their neural link, she and Nova became facilitators of cooperation, helping different species find new ways to work together. The quantum technology that had started as humanity's last hope became the foundation for an unprecedented era of peace and discovery. The hegemony thought they were superior because they conquered. Sarah reflected to her crew one day, watching ships of a dozen designs dock at the new Alliance headquarters. But humanity's real strength was never in our ability to fight. It was in our ability to inspire others to dream of something better. Through their neural link, Nova added, "And in your willingness to trust those dreams to become reality." The stars seemed brighter somehow, filled with possibilities instead of threats. Humanity had not just survived. They had helped create something entirely new. The galaxy would never be the same, and that was exactly what they had fought for.